excuse me, I would like a wine. The purpose of a wine is to give me flat drunk. Now, a good wine, naturally, will give me as drunk as a bad wine. But I would like the good one. And since both wines give me the same amount of drunk, I would like to pay the bad wine price. Because that's what I'm for. Is that where you're headed, Einstein?
I think he's that clever, Gaston.
Would you like to see the drawing?
I never thought the 20th century could be handed to me so casually. Scratched out a pencil on a piece of paper, tools thousands of years old, waiting for someone to move them in just this way. I'm very lucky tonight. I was open to receive it. Any other night I might have dismissed it with a quarter mark or a joke even, but why didn't this happen before? By accident? Why didn't Raphael doodle this absent-mindedly?
What do you think of the drawing?
What could it matter?
Here, let me see it. Here.
I like it all right.
I don't get it.
I don't think it looks like me.
Well, there you go. 4 more opinions. I wonder how many opinions the world can hold. A billion? A trillion? Well, you just added 4. But look, the drawing stays exactly the same.
And what kind of person would I be if I didn't form an opinion? I see the drawing, I think about it, and I form an opinion. And I express my opinions to other people, and suddenly I'm fascinated. So, since I'm so fascinated, they look at the drawing, and they form an opinion too. And then they express their opinions to other people, and suddenly they're fascinated. So as far as we're sitting in a room full of dullards, we're not sitting in a room full of completely fascinating people with opinions.
My name is Suzanne.
And you're waiting for Picasso.
Yes, do you know him?
I heard of his type. Big guy, rodeo rider, trick roper.
No.
Oh. What's his first name?
Pablo.
No, different guy. Sorry. But if you don't mind me asking, how did you meet this Pablo?
It was about 2 weeks ago. I was walking down the street one afternoon, and I turned up the stairs into my flat. And I looked back, and he was there, framed in the doorway, looking up at me. I couldn't see his face because the light came in from behind, and he was standing in shadow. But then he said, "I am Picasso." And then I said, "Well, so what?" And he said, he does not know, but he thinks that it means something to be Picasso. He said that occasionally there is a Picasso, and it happens to be him. He said the 20th century has to start somewhere, and why not now? Then he said, "May I approach you?" And then I said, "Okay." So he walked up the stairs, and he took my wrist, and he scratched deeply onto the back of my hand, and in red, the image of a dove appeared. And I thought, why is it that someone who likes me can hang around for months, and I will not be with them? And then someone else comes along and says the right thing, and then I'm on my back, not knowing what hit me.
What is that?
Huh?
Nothing.
So the next thing I know, he's inside the apartment, and I say, "Well, what do you want?" And he said he wanted my hair, he wanted my neck, he wanted my knees, he wanted my feet. He wanted his eyes on my eyes, his chest on my chest. He wanted the chairs in the room, the notebook paper on the table. He wanted the paint from the walls. And he was speaking Spanish, which didn't hurt, I'll tell you. Well, at that point, the word no just became like a Polish village. Unpronounceable. So then, as I was sitting there, half dressed, he picked up a drinking glass, of which I have 2, and he kept looking at me through the bottom of it. He kept turning it in his hand like a kaleidoscope, and he said, "Even though you're refracted, you are still you." I didn't ask. Then he said he had to be somewhere, and I thought, sure, and he left.
You saw him again?
Oh, yes. He came back later that night with this drawing and gave it to me. Then he got very distracted, and I said, "What's the matter?" And he said, "Sometimes he starts thinking about things, and he can't stop." "Wait," he said. "He doesn't think about them, he sees them." And I said, "What is it?" And he said, "It can't be named." That's what he said, it can't be named. But when you're with someone who says they're seeing things that can't be named, you either want to go with it or run like hell. Well, I'm going with it. And that's why I'm here tonight. He told me about this place, that he might see me here one day. And that was 2 weeks ago.
What did Picasso say about my place?
He said this is where artists come to talk about,
Festos? Manifestos?
Anybody want coffee?
Now that is what I could go manifesto. I can really go for a nice, juicy manifesto on a hot summer day. Oh, I can just imagine it now. Can't you? I have to pee. Oh, excuse me.
Did Picasso say that he was working on a manifesto?
Oh no, he said he doesn't need one. And if he did have one, he would have exhausted it before he finished writing it down. Oh, one other thing. Just before he left, he went down to the window, reached out by the sill, and, like lightning, grabbed the pigeon. Then he held it in one hand and he soothed it and talked to it until it fell asleep, like it was hypnotized. Then he held his hand out of the window and dropped the pigeon, and it just fell down, straight down, 2 stories like a stone. And then seconds before it would have hit the ground, it turned itself over and started flapping like mad, and just flew up straight past us, up the buildings and away into the night. Then Picasso turned to me and said, "That is like me." He was gone. Can I have a refill?
I'll get it. Anybody else want a refill?
Yes, please.
Does anyone know what 64 francs 33 minus 39 francs 17 is?
Why don't you let me do that, Freddie?
25 francs 16.
Are you sure?
25.16.
You're positive.
I'm positive, absolutely.
Well, I'll just check it tomorrow.
It will be the same tomorrow.
I got my counterpart coming over. He checks everything anyway.
You can have a math squad from the Vision Numerical Center for the Intellectually Profound, and the answer's still going to be 25 francs 16.
All right.
Jeez, Freddie, take his word for it.
Are you a professor?
No, I'm not.
Then what do you do?
Well, by day I work at the patent office.
And what do you do there?
Well, by day I register notions. That's all they are, really. Notions. Shortcuts. How to get something done to get something quicker.
And what do you do by night?
At night. At night the stars come out.
The stars in the sky?
The stars in my head.
And after the stars in your head come out?
I write it down.
Have you been published?
No, I haven't.
We're all writers here, aren't we? I'm a writer who hasn't written anything, and he's a writer who has been published.
And you're welcome here. We get a lot of artist types, writers, poets, painters. What do you write about?
I can't even begin to explain.
We'll try. Simplify it. Can you say what it's about in one sentence?
It's about everything.
I see, like the relationships between men and women.
Bigger.
Like life from birth to death.
Bigger.
Like the warring of nations and the movements of people.
Bigger.
Like the Earth in its place in the solar system.
Keep going.
Like the universe and everything contained in it.
Why stop there?
Okay. How big is this book?
About 70 pages.
Not too long. Maybe we can put you in touch with some of our publisher friends. What's the title?
The Special Theory of Relativity.
Catchy.
Well, by judging from the title alone, I think it will sell just as well as a critique of reason.
Is it funny?
Well,
Because if it's funny, you can sell a lot of books.
Oh, it's very funny.
It's very funny.
Actually, that depends on what you mean by funny.
Well, does it make you laugh?
No.
Chuckle?
No.
Smile?
I wish I could say yes.
But you just said it was funny.
I was trying to sell more books.
Could it have illustrations?
Impossible.
Why not? Might look good. Give it some zip.
Illustrations are two-dimensional.
I know what you mean, but a good draftsman can give you very realistic three-dimensional drawings.
I need 4.
Einstein, I'm trying to help you here. You want your book to have impact, don't you?
Sure.
And in order for your book to have impact, people have to read it, don't they?
Yeah.
Okay. In your field, how many people would you say have to read your book in order for it to have impact?
1.
No. In order for your book to have impact, everyone has to read it. Every man on the street has got to have one.
No, only 1. Max.
Max?
Max Planck, a German physicist. He's very influential. If he reads this, he makes my entire reputation.
Well, you're lucky. If you know who your market is and you know his name, you can limit on what you spend on advertising.